So one question that comes up all the time is, which power laser do I get? What's the difference? What about dot size, etc.? So when you have a plotter laser, you need to think of something that is like a pin size. So a good illustration is something smaller than a Sharpie. So if I draw a line here, I've got a nice little sharp line. That's great for cutting. That's great for etching on carabiner hooks. It's great for etching on pens and, you know, doodads and stuff like that and tchotchkes, but it sucks when you want to do etching because you got such a small part. I would say that by comparison, the NGL laser, the CC30 laser, has a dot that's like this thick. See that close up right there? So I'm using something, it's not literally this big, but I'm trying to make an illustration that it's more effective for covering a large area. It's still enough power to cut everything, but you have that great long focus beam. So as this laser comes down here through that lens, that area where it intersects is very long and maybe, you know, about that big. So that's why I can put different things on without always adjusting the table, versus if you take a plotter laser, you've got to move it exactly within that little guide. It's got to be 2 inches away because you've got this tiny little beam and this tiny little focus spot, and you can't miss that. It's not sharp at all. So now the third one, we're going to go to a restaurant after this. I'm going to have this all over my hand. Is when you go further away, when you go outside of the focus zone, you've got this fatter mark. And that's where you start to lose power. So for every square space that you increase the dot size, you're losing power exponentially. So you're not losing like a ratio of 1 to 1. It isn't 50% less. It's to the squared less. I don't know what the math is on that, but it's dramatically dropping in power. So with these two lasers, you've got that terrific focus zone. On the CC30, you've got the 2 levels you can adjust quickly. On this one, you can move the table, and you've got the configurations. We don't show everything because, like always, we don't want to show the competitors everything on camera. But the next thing is, what power do I choose? So the CC30, it's a straight through, and it's only 30 watt, and there isn't room to put in a 40, a 60, or an 80, or a 100 watt laser. It's designed that way. The second thing is the diameter is 12.5 inches versus 14 inches. But in etching, they're very similar, because this 60 watt laser is going to etch some of the clothing that you see in the videos at, let's say, 15%, 20% power at 1,000 speed. But this guy will also etch at 1,000 speed. The power will be twice as high, so the effective juice or energy or whatever you want to call it on the garment is virtually identical. So etching wise, they're the same except for the area that you can do. Now where the difference is, when you want to cut something that's thin, that's light, then no problem. If you want to go into marble, and I can't show you this on video, I'll show you 2 pieces of granite or marble. The 60, 80, 100 watt just have more power. They hit deeper, go in harder on the surface than this one. So this one takes a couple passes to do what this one would do in 1 pass. So that's where you're sacrificing. If you are starting out and you want to get into the laser business and you want one single thing that's very versatile at a low cost, then this is the answer for you. If you want to do and plan for virtually anything down the road, then you use one of these wattage lasers, the NGL, because you can also trade it up later on in its life. So finally, let me give you one more illustration. Think of your grandfather's magnifying glass. It was big, heavy glass, and it was brass, and that takes the sun and can focus it on a dot very small. But you can also take something from the dollar store, and it's smaller, and it's $1, obviously, right? And it'll burn, but it won't burn as fast, as effective. So with more power, you're harnessing more energy in that similar same dot size, and you're able to vaporize more. So when you're doing, you know, baby blue and pink and white, you'll always have some residue with a laser, but maybe a little bit more here, and you'll have less here because you can crank up the power and you can vaporize and go all the way through it. So hopefully that answers your questions about power and which to use on a laser and why. If you have any questions, email us. Thanks.